Divine Feminine. You have no idea how many conversations you've been in without even realizing it. People have been whispering about you, Divine Feminine, some in awe, some in confusion, and some still trying to make sense of what they witnessed between you and this person. But here's the wild part. Your masculine has already spoken the truth. They've told someone. Maybe not in the way you expected, but the words are out there, and they're not coming back. And now that the truth has a voice, the energy around your connection is shifting, and it's about to ripple through more than just the two of you. Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, I'm glad to have you home. I just want to take a moment to say how grateful I am that you're here, because the energy that's already coming through feels powerful, and I can tell this message is meant for someone who truly needs it today. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. If you feel called to go deeper, the extended readings and extra guidance are always available on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. That's where we get into the longer, more personal layers of these messages, and it's a beautiful space to connect on a deeper level. And while you're here, don't forget to support the channel by liking this video, leaving a comment below, and sharing this reading with someone who may need to hear it. Your energy in this community makes such a difference, and I love reading your thoughts and reflections. Now let's go ahead and shuffle the deck together. Spirit, we ask you to guide us in this moment, to bring through the clearest and most aligned messages for those listening. As I set the energy for this reading, I can already feel the cards beginning to stir, and I know something important is ready to come through. Divine Feminine. The card I just pulled for you is the Magician, and I could feel the weight of it even before it landed. This isn't just a card about creation. It's about intention. It's about someone calling something into their life so clearly, so specifically, that the universe can't help but respond. And the message here is loud. Someone manifested you. Not in a vague, dreamy kind of way, but in a real, deep, soul-reaching way. They spoke your energy into their world. But now that you're here, they're realizing they had no idea just how powerful, layered, and vibrant you truly are. This person is in reflection right now. They're sitting with themselves, going over every part of who you are, and realizing that what they asked for and what they received are not just different, they're bigger. You're bigger. You carry more light, more depth, more mystery, more strength than they were ready for. And it's not that you're too much. It's that their vision was too small. They were trying to manifest a partner, and what they got instead was a mirror, a reflection of truth, a soul-level match who doesn't just walk beside them, but calls them higher. And that truth, it's rocking them. Because when they first crossed paths with you, Divine Feminine, they thought they knew how this story would go. Maybe they thought you'd be soft and quiet, someone they could easily understand or contain. Maybe they thought you'd fit into the idea they had in their mind of what love should look like, of what a partner should feel like. But the deeper they look, the more they realize you're not just a dream come true. You're a shift, a turning point, a truth that demands to be felt, not just imagined. They're remembering every moment now, how they wished for someone who would see them, how they prayed for a love that wouldn't hurt or feel empty or half-hearted. And when you showed up, they were so focused on the idea of getting it right that they didn't realize what they were holding was already everything they asked for, and more. You didn't show up with the script. You didn't try to impress. You just were. And that divine feminine is what caught them so off guard. Your presence was louder than their expectations. Your energy rewrote the rules. So now they're here in this silent moment of awe, because they were wrong, not about your worth, but about your depth. They thought they knew what they were calling in, but the universe had something more honest, more sacred in mind. And now it's hitting them. You weren't a manifestation to control. You were a divine match meant to awaken something in them they couldn't access alone. This is not just about attraction or admiration. This is about soul recognition. A feeling so intense, it shakes the foundation of what they thought they knew about love. And divine feminine, what's beautiful is that you never had to convince them. You never had to explain or beg to be seen. You just stood in your truth, in your softness and fire, and allowed the energy to speak for itself. And it did. It's still speaking. It's echoing in their mind, in their body, in the quiet spaces where they used to hide from their emotions. You didn't just shift their heart, you opened their eyes. And now that they see you clearly, they can't go back to what they thought love should be, because now they know what it truly is. Even if you haven't spoken in a while, even if there's silence or distance or uncertainty, know this: you are living in their thoughts. They are reviewing this connection with sacred eyes. They're replaying memories and moments, searching for understanding, trying to grasp how they could have missed what was right in front of them. And Spirit is saying, they didn't miss it. They just weren't ready. But now they are. Or at the very least, they're trying to be. Because the truth of who you are is louder than their fears. And it's not going anywhere. So if you've been feeling this deep, strange pull lately, if your body has felt heavier or more emotional than usual, that's why. You're not just picking up on their thoughts. You're picking up on their awakening. The Magician card reminds us that we're always co-creating, even when we don't realize it. And this person, they created a reality with you in it. But what they didn't expect was for that reality to require their growth, their surrender, their truth. And now that's exactly what's being called forward. Divine Feminine, you are not just someone they once desired. You are the answer they didn't know they needed. You are the lesson and the love, the mirror and the muse. And as they sit with this awareness, know that your energy is doing what it was always meant to do. You're not just changing their mind, you're changing their soul. Divine Feminine, the card I just pulled for this next part of your message is the Page of Pentacles. And the moment it landed, I felt the energy shift. It's quiet, but strong. Like someone realizing they've been holding something valuable this entire time, but only now learning how to truly see it. And the message that poured through with this card is this: you're not their usual type. But this isn't coming from a place of shallow preference or external judgment. This is soul deep. This is about energy, about resonance, about the silent ways we recognize or misunderstand those who were always meant to shift our lives. You see, this person thought they knew what they wanted. They had an idea, maybe even a list, of what love should look like, what a partner should act like, how connection is supposed to feel. And then you came along, and suddenly the box they had built around love didn't fit anymore. Because you didn't match the story. You didn't match the patterns. You didn't look or sound or move through the world in the way they were used to. But instead of turning away, they kept watching. And now they're realizing that everything they thought they wanted doesn't come close to what they're actually drawn to in you. There's something powerful about this moment they're in, divine feminine. Because they're not just attracted to you, they're changed by you. Your energy doesn't speak the language of familiarity. It speaks the language of truth. And for someone who spent so long following what felt safe or predictable, that truth feels disruptive. It's unsettling them in the best way. It's shaking loose all the assumptions they didn't even realize they were still carrying. And now they're seeing you not just as someone different, but as someone important. I don't think they expected this shift. Honestly, I don't think they expected you. And it's not just that you challenge their comfort zone. It's that you reflect something sacred back to them. Maybe it's the way you carry yourself, the way your presence doesn't demand attention, but draws it anyway, the way you hold emotion, the way you move with intention, the way you feel like something they've been waiting for but couldn't name. They're starting to understand now that the kind of love they thought they wanted can't compare to the kind of love you awaken in them. And here's the thing. They may not be telling you any of this. You might not see the signs or hear the words, but their silence, it's full. They're quiet. It's echoing with realizations. Spirit is showing me that they're in a space of deep inner processing. They're revisiting the way they first saw you, the way they categorized you, and they're seeing how wrong that initial lens really was. Not in a way that makes them regret meeting you, but in a way that makes them humble, soft, curious. Because for the first time in a long time, someone isn't just matching their type, they're transforming it. You've done something no one else has done before, Divine Feminine. You've shown them what it looks like to love outside of preference, to feel beyond expectations. And it's not because you tried, it's because you simply are. Your energy doesn't need to explain itself. It just is, and it's undeniable. And now this person is realizing that what they thought they wanted was actually keeping them small. What they thought they needed was built on ideas, not feeling. And you are all feeling, all truth, all energy. And they're finally listening. There's something so beautiful and tender about this shift because it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's quiet, but life-changing. And even if nothing is said right now, the vibration of this truth is already moving between you. You may feel it as pressure in the chest, a sudden wave of emotion, a moment of clarity when you weren't expecting it. That's how their energy is finding you right now. Through thoughts they're too scared to say out loud. Through feelings that don't fit in words yet. Through the inner knowing that something about you was never meant to be understood logically. It was meant to be felt. So if you felt a sudden pull in the last few days, or even a strange sadness, a longing you can't quite place, that's why. You're feeling them shift. You're feeling the veil drop. This connection is being seen with new eyes. And even though they might not be acting differently on the surface, the Page of Pentacles tells us something has begun. A seed has been planted. A thought has taken root, and it's only growing stronger from here. You are not their usual type, Divine Feminine. You are so much more. You are the type of soul that doesn't just enter someone's life. You change the shape of it. You open doors they didn't know were closed. You awaken parts of themselves they forgot were even alive. And even in your stillness, even in your silence, your presence is speaking louder than anything they've ever known. They see it now. Even if they can't explain it yet, they feel it. Divine Feminine, I'm pulling from the deck now. And the card that comes forward for this next part of the message is the Emperor. Divine Feminine, this energy is striking. The moment I pulled this card, your person's deeper motivations began to reveal themselves, and it's like Spirit is laying it all out. The Emperor speaks of control, structure, and intention, very aligned with the message here. Your person didn't stumble into this connection by accident. Even if they appeared casual or even aloof at times, the truth is they were drawn to you with a force that was deeply rooted in something they didn't fully understand at first. And now it's becoming clear. They were pulled toward your light because their own soul recognized power in you that they couldn't quite name, but that their ego wanted to match. What's coming through here is that this masculine energy saw something in you that activated their solar plexus, that inner core that governs confidence, identity, and willpower. And because this chakra is connected to masculine energy, it's no surprise that their first response to you came from a place of ego. Not ego in a cruel or surface level way, but ego as in, what does this person do for my sense of identity? How does being with her reflect who I think I am? That's how you entered their field, Divine Feminine. You weren't just love, you were a mirror to their inner power. And that's why this connection feels more intense than anything they've experienced before. The Emperor energy doesn't like being caught off guard, but you did exactly that. Your person tried to structure the way they approached you, possibly even envisioning how they wanted this connection to go from the start. But you didn't follow their inner blueprint. You didn't show up in the way they imagined or expected. And the moment you started revealing more of your essence, your softness, your strength, your truth, it disrupted their inner order. Not in a bad way, but in a way that shook up the rigid expectations they had built around love. And that's where this internal conflict started to rise, because they thought they knew what they wanted until they met you. And here's where it gets even deeper. Their attraction wasn't just physical. It wasn't even just emotional. It was spiritual, yes, but it was also tied to their idea of legacy. They saw you as someone who could walk beside them, who could match their energy, someone they could build with. And while that sounds beautiful, the problem was they didn't lead with this. They didn't tell you that. Instead, they kept it buried under layers of control and unspoken intention. So now they're sitting in this quiet moment of realization, seeing that your energy has changed. You've evolved. You're not chasing, you're not shrinking, you're not waiting. And that shift, it's shaking up their foundation. Divine Feminine, you need to know this. This person may not have said it out loud, but they chose you with their energy long before they ever spoke your name. And now, as the energy between you shifts and rises, they're being forced to admit to themselves what their true motives were. You were never just a passing connection. You were the one their spirit called in, but their ego wanted to contain. And the solar plexus energy here shows us that this person is being called to balance their pride with their truth, their power with vulnerability. Because your connection can't move forward from a place of silent control. It has to rise from truth. And that truth is, you're more than what they expected. You're more than what they planned for. You are someone who challenges the old parts of them, the part that wanted control, the part that needed to look strong, the part that thought love could be calculated or managed. You are rewriting all of that. And now, the Emperor stands at a crossroads, realizing that if they want to meet you fully, they can no longer lead with ego. They must lead with soul. There's so much more unfolding in the energy between you two. But what's undeniable right now is this. They see you differently, not just with their eyes, but with their core. And their entire being is reacting. Before we pull the next card, I just want to pause for a moment and check in with you. How has this been resonating with you so far? If something in these first 3 cards has already spoken to your heart, let me know in the comments. I love reading how these messages meet you right where you are. All right, let's go ahead and see what Spirit has for us as we pull the next card. Divine Feminine, I'm pulling the next card for you now. And what comes forward is the Queen of Swords. Divine Feminine, the truth of who you are is cutting through every illusion your person once held about you, and they weren't ready for it. But now they're starting to realize this isn't something to fear, it's something to respect. The Queen of Swords is the perfect card for what's coming through right now. You're standing in your clarity, your confidence, and most importantly, your honesty. You're showing up in your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it shakes the ego of others. And this masculine, he wasn't expecting that. He may have expected a version of you that would soften around his shadow or shrink to make room for his pride. But what he received instead was a mirror that reflects what he himself hasn't been willing to look at. He thought he knew what he wanted. He thought he could manifest someone who would fit into a role, one that would boost his sense of self, that would agree, nod, and blend in. But what he got was you, this radiant, sovereign force who knows exactly who she is, what she stands for, and what she will not tolerate. You don't cater to ego. You don't play into performance. You don't dim your honesty just to make someone else feel more in control. And to a masculine who operates primarily from the solar plexus, that's both disruptive and magnetic. You're showing him what it looks like when a woman holds power from the inside, not from domination or pride, but from self-awareness and energetic mastery. The Queen of Swords isn't cruel, she's just unwilling to pretend. And that's what makes this dynamic so intense right now, because your person is used to being able to predict, to steer, to define the terms of a connection. But the moment you spoke or moved or even stayed silent in your authenticity, it undid something in him. You didn't come with performance, you came with presence. And now he's being forced to ask himself if he's ever actually met someone this honest before, or if he's simply always fallen for projections of what he wanted to see. Divine Feminine, I feel this is not just about what you say, but the way you carry yourself, the way you listen, the way you withhold energy until it feels aligned, the way you speak your truth without sugarcoating it, but also without making it about anyone else. You're not cruel, you're not loud, you're just clear. And that clarity is what's causing this masculine to pause. He's realizing now that what he manifested wasn't just a partner, but a force. Someone who doesn't just orbit his world, but invites him to level up to meet you where you stand. You're changing the template of what love looks like for him. And he's starting to feel it not just in his mind, but in his body. Because when someone is used to control, used to being met with approval and softness, your sharp clarity can feel like a challenge. But it's also an initiation. It's why he can't look away. Why even in your silence, he's listening harder than he ever did before. He thought he wanted agreeable, but now he's learning that what he needed was someone who would call his soul forward, and that's you. So don't second guess the way you've shown up. Don't dim your honesty just because it makes others uncomfortable. You didn't come here to blend in, Divine Feminine. You came here to embody truth. And the right connection, especially this one, is starting to adjust to that. Your person is beginning to realize that love isn't built on illusion or ego comfort. It's built on seeing and being seen. And your refusal to perform is what's pulling this truth to the surface. He didn't expect you to be this honest. But now that he's seen it, he can't unsee it. And that truth is changing everything. Divine Feminine, I'm pulling the next card now. And the energy settles into the Ace of Cups. Divine Feminine, this card could not be clearer or more honest about what is happening beneath the surface. The Ace of Cups is the moment when the heart speaks louder than the mind, louder than pride, louder than fear. This is the point where emotion rises and can no longer be controlled or managed the way your person is used to doing. And what's coming through so strongly is that their heart has already chosen you, even if their ego is still trying to catch up. They didn't plan to feel this deeply, and they definitely didn't expect it to happen this way. But once the heart opens, it doesn't close easily. This masculine began this connection from a place of confidence, control, and self-assurance. They saw you as someone strong, grounded, impressive, and powerful in your own right, and that mirrored parts of themselves that they respected. But what they didn't anticipate was how naturally your energy would rise beyond that starting point. The connection didn't stay in the place of pride or surface attraction. It moved upward, slowly and quietly, into their emotional space. And now they're realizing that what they feel for you isn't about winning, proving, or maintaining control. It's about desire that comes from the heart, the kind that feels sincere and unavoidable. Divine Feminine, this is why your person has been reflecting so deeply. They're not confused about their feelings anymore. They're processing the fact that those feelings are real. They are noticing how often their thoughts return to you, how your presence lingers even when you're not physically near. There's a softening happening inside them, even if they don't show it openly. And this softness feels unfamiliar because it asks them to be emotionally honest rather than strategically composed. The Ace of Cups also speaks to emotional courage, and that's exactly where your person is being tested. They are standing at the edge of vulnerability, realizing that caring this deeply means they can no longer hide behind distance, silence, or control. Their heart wants connection, not just admiration. It wants closeness, not just attraction. And you, divine feminine, are the one who unlocked that space simply by being yourself, without trying to perform or chase or convince. There is also something important here about equality. Your person is recognizing that you meet them on the same level of inner strength. You carry pride, confidence, and personal power just as they do, and instead of clashing, that similarity is what pulls them in deeper. They're realizing they don't want someone who depends on them emotionally or feeds their ego endlessly. They want someone whose presence feels steady, mutual, and real. And that realization is shifting everything from the inside out. Divine feminine, this is the heart choosing truth over comfort. Your person is learning that love doesn't arrive the way they imagined it would. It arrives the way it needs to. And right now, their heart is aligning with you because you reflect honesty, depth, and emotional integrity. Even if they try to reason their way around it, even if they hesitate, the feeling remains. The Ace of Cups doesn't ask for permission, it simply opens. So if you felt a change in the energy, if you've sensed them becoming quieter but more focused, more reflective, more emotionally present, trust that. Their heart is speaking now, and it's speaking clearly, not because you forced anything, but because the connection has naturally risen to a place where truth can no longer be ignored. And once the heart chooses divine feminine, everything else eventually follows. Divine feminine, I'm pulling our final card now. And what comes through is the Six of Wands. Divine feminine, this energy is powerful, triumphant even, and it tells me something important right away. You've shifted the dynamic of this connection without even trying. The Six of Wands shows up when someone has not only realized the value of what they have, but has also made it known to others. And in your case, your person has spoken your name, out loud, clearly, and confidently, to people in their life who matter. Friends, family, maybe even people they never thought they'd bring into the conversation. It's like they couldn't help it. You shook something in them, and now they're speaking from a place of truth, even if it surprises them. Your person may not usually be one to open up or talk about their love life. They may be the type who keeps things private, who plays their cards close to the chest. But something about you, divine feminine, broke through that wall. Something about your energy felt too strong, too real, too undeniable to keep hidden. And even though they may have had their own idea about how your story would go, they've now reached a place where they know it's not something they can control. It's something they have to surrender to. And here's where it gets even deeper. The conversations they're having about you, they're not casual. These aren't just passing mentions. This is someone reviewing your connection with people they trust, reflecting on what's unfolded between you, and admitting, even if only in small ways, just how important you are to them. The energy I'm getting feels like someone admitting that they were wrong, or at least surprised, because you showed them something they weren't ready for, and it made them think differently about love, about control, about who they are when they care deeply. Divine Feminine, what makes this so impactful is that you didn't force anything. You didn't demand truth. You simply embodied it. And your truth made them look at their own. It made them speak on things they would have normally left unsaid. You weren't afraid of their ego, and that's what made you unforgettable. Whether it was a specific moment, a conversation, or just your unwavering presence, they couldn't shake it. And because of that, they've already shifted the energy around this connection. Words have been spoken, and the ripple effect is already moving through both your lives. This final card is also a confirmation. The dynamic is changing. People are watching this connection now, whether spiritually or literally. There is recognition coming, not just from your person, but from others around them. And if you felt the energy of people sensing something between you two, you're not wrong. What was once private is becoming visible. Not in a dramatic or chaotic way, but in a way that says, this is real, this matters, and I see it now. What's also coming through is clarity. Both of your souls have been calling for it, whether you knew it or not. And this entire journey, every silence, every shift, every confusing moment, has been leading to this point of realization. You're not just teaching your person about love, you're helping them remember who they are when they allow themselves to be seen. And the courage they're finding, that's because of you. Your honesty, your energy, your refusal to dim your light. And that's the part they never expected, to be inspired by you in this way, to be cracked open by someone who didn't need to prove anything, but simply lived in truth. You didn't beg them to choose you. You didn't try to convince them of your worth. You showed them what real connection feels like by being the most honest version of yourself. And now they can't unfeel it. That vibration lingers in their space, even when you're not around. It's in their memories, their dreams, their thoughts. And that internal shift is making waves on the outside too. This is what the Six of Wands means at a soul level, the heart's victory over fear. It's that moment when someone chooses to no longer shrink or pretend or deny what they feel, because the truth is louder than their fear. Your person may still be figuring out how to fully stand in that truth, but they've already crossed the line between silence and expression. That first brave act of speaking your name, of acknowledging this love to others, was their quiet declaration that you are someone they want to stand beside. And even if the journey isn't linear, even if there are still things left unspoken between you, this step changes everything. So, Divine Feminine, if you've been questioning your own intuition, wondering whether you were just imagining the pull, the significance, the weight of this love, this card is your confirmation. They do see you. They have been talking about you. And now, the universe is aligning things so that what's been felt in secret can start to be lived out loud. Not because you asked for it, not because you chased it, but because you called it in simply by being who you are. This is your recognition, and this is the beginning of a new chapter where you are no longer hidden, but held in truth, in admiration, and in the light. Divine Feminine, you've moved this connection to a higher place. And whether or not they've told you directly, the truth has already been released into the world. And now you're going to start seeing the results of that truth taking shape, conversations unfolding, dynamics shifting, hearts softening. Because once someone speaks their truth out loud, especially about something as powerful as love, there's no going back, only forward. And you, divine feminine, are the reason they're finally ready to take that step. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. What we've seen here is a reminder that your energy is powerful, your journey is guided, and spirit is always working in ways you may not fully see yet. Trust that what is meant for you will always find its way. And you don't need to chase. Just allow yourself to stay aligned and open. If you feel called to dive deeper, the exclusive and extended version of our readings are available right now on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. That's where we really expand on these messages and explore the layers that spirit couldn't fit into this space. Also, don't forget to check out the community posts and today's energy reading updates. I love connecting with you there and hearing how these messages meet you in your own journey. Drop your comments below, share your personal requests, and let me know how this reading spoke to you. And if you'd like to keep the energy flowing, I've linked some other videos here that I know will guide and encourage you. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.